Hello, Steve here. Welcome to Real Health. Who'd have thought health is about what we're eating? Join me on my quest to disseminate my go-to health regimen, the Health 44, my clumsy branding of eliminating 4 classes of food, introducing 4 classes of micronutrients. Bingo, bongo, health sorted. So thank you for your interest. Let's do this. Here we go. Once again, welcome to Real Health. Oh dear, who'd have thought that eating, our diet, is what contributes to our health? So today you've clicked on it, heart disease, addressing heart disease. Maybe that's what I'll call this episode. It's been a while since I've referenced the heart. I reference it, I litter all my episodes, well, not all of them, but many episodes with certain mentions of heart disease, circulatory system, oils, sugars relating to cholesterol and all that sort of thing. So today, just checking if my mic is on and all that, because I've had a few stuff-ups in the past and I hate when that happens. So usually if someone is to click on this episode title, how am I going to get out of my state? Like I've mentioned maybe in the last episode, this feels like an ongoing conversation of hundreds of hours, but I mentioned that obesity happens before our eyes. That's pretty much the only disease process that happens before our eyes, and for the uninitiated, chromium, vanadium, the main markers, the tells of obesity, deficiencies that is, and perhaps tooth decay, hair loss, graying, wrinkling, hemorrhoids, are all these visual manifestations of disease happening before our eyes. But heart disease, poof, just happens and we have a heart attack. We have a murmur. We have atrial fibrillation. We have, you get it, all these particular types of heart disease, heart issues, tachycardia, and I mentioned the atrial fibrillation, but I guess that's a little bit of tachycardia there. But some of the 2.2 regular listeners will know that I'm going to say selenium, vitamin E as the primaries, the tells, signatures in overt heart disease, where you get heart attacks, you get certain conditions of the heart. But just like just taking selenium, just taking vitamin E in combination isn't enough. Those 2 primaries need to be accompanied by all the other cofactors in the other 88, making up the 90 declared essential micronutrients that we need for heart health and to lessen our impact on heart disease. If you're now 40 or 60 and you've got these heart disease markers happening, maybe you've had a heart attack. We are designed to heal, to recuperate, to recover, to it's a natural process because we've got cell life cycles of say 3 months for certain parts of our physiology. Heart cells, I'm not sure, they might be a bit longer, but we're always rejuvenating. It's still the same heart, just like, is it the same river? The river's flowing, all that sort of thing. And then there's some of the ideas, modalities doing the rounds with any health issue is genes, lifestyle, processed foods, um, family factors, stress, obesity, I mentioned processed foods, didn't I? Seed oils, the sweeteners, and then bringing up the more recent uh, ideas is toxins, which is molds, plastic intake, um, soaps have been doing the rounds. For quite a few years, deodorants have been linked to Alzheimer's, dementia, the aluminium used. No. For those regulars, I will say Alzheimer's, dementia, cholesterol deficiency. Ooh, that's a bit of a feeder for the one-off listener. So, heart disease is a little bit more complex. It's not as easy as, I guess, things that happen before our eyes, our dental care, our obesity and the like. Even though we have this fixation with obesity, exercise, calories in, calories out, that's not the answer for heart disease either. Improve your diet. Go carnivore. Less fat. More fat. Do you get the amount of tug of warring amongst the factions of different diets? And this is heart healthy. Margarine is heart healthy, don't you know? It's got less saturated fat. Saturated fat, mono unsaturated, polyunsaturated. It's better than saturated. No. In the last 10 years especially, saturated fat is becoming more favoured. And just by, in the last half century, to go from meat is bad, fat is bad, plants are better than fat, margarine's better than butter. Can you see the stabbing in the dark that we have with everything, not just heart disease, but heart disease is a big stab in the dark, together with number 2 on our mortality rate, is cancer. Heart disease is a bit more complex because it has a lot more factors in it. Obesity, the whole metabolic syndrome complex can lead to a heart attack. Oh, you've had heart disease. You've had micronutrient deficiencies, more like it. So, together with building on the micronutrient intake profile, we need to digest it and absorb it. And this is where I'll bring in each and every episode just a quick regimen check to let you know what my regimen is, what I advocate for, what I prescribe is the whole Health 44. The Health 44. Healthy is a lot of the things that we consider healthy, but if you do the 44, health will come. The first 4, the 44, take away 95% of the supermarket. Gluten, wheat, barley, rye, oats, buckwheat now I think as well. Oils, out of the contest. Oils in a bottle, burnt animal fat, fried food, out. Sugars, drastically reducing your fruit intake. I've effectively eliminated fruit and veg. Fruit probably a couple of times a year, this much. Veg, same sort of thing. And nitrates is the 4th category to eliminate, which is pretty much your meat, processed meat. You know, your bacon, your ham, pastrami, corned beef, spam. I'm still looking for a nitrate-free bacon, and it must not be crispy bacon for those crispy bacon eaters. Oh, how about olive oil for the oil thinkers out there? No oil from a bottle. You have a mortar and pestle, you have olives there, crush them, put them in your, whatever you put it into, or drink it now, as the likes of Brian Johnson are advocating for. Have it fresh, you leave it, you pour it in a bottle, it oxidizes, adds to the whole heterocyclic amines, trans fats, acrylamides build up complex, which adds to our heart ill health issues. And the second rule of 44, of course, is the micronutrients, the 90 declared essential micronutrients, the 4 categories of micronutrients that we need to take in, not just the macros. It's not about the macros, it's the micros, very important. The 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 essential fatty acids. Health happens in doing the 44. So, as I just started to mention, and I needed to round out what the Health 44 is, oils, that's contributing. So a lack of all the micronutrients, we need to get dependable daily supply. We need to digest. Easiest way to digest is to go off your PPIs eventually with some enzymes that you can take. You get it, digestive enzymes you can get from the supermarket. And then increase your salt intake, sorted. You will digest better. And then you need to absorb by following the first rule of 44, doing the whole 44, and then as part of that Health 44, no oils. Fats are okay. Fats are okay in heart disease. Don't panic. Don't bloody panic. Oh, family history. Genes has nothing to do with it. The only thing that correlates with the genetics of you and your family and whoever you want to blame genes and genetics is a easy dusting of the hands. My responsibility is out the window as a practitioner. Lifestyle choice. No? Well, yeah, it is. If you do the Health 44, that's the positive lifestyle choice. If you're going to exercise, that's a negative lifestyle choice on your heart, unless you supplement even more. So the only thing that is genetic, that appears genetic in your family's history of heart disease and heart attacks and whatever you want to blame heart and genes on, is your diet and your ability to absorb the particular micronutrients that you are deficient in. The big ones with heart health: selenium, vitamin E, but you need all the others. You need all the others. You even need arsenic. That's an essential mineral. Yeah. As long as it goes through your liver, right? So, I've mentioned the oils must be out. If you're one of those carnivore people, I have to mention this often because there's a building base of carnivores out there. I'm a heavy keto. I was primarily keto. I was dairy and egg there. Then I became a bit more keto with a bit more meat. Then I'm sort of heavy keto with a lot more meat daily, of around 2/3 of a pound of at least ground beef or steak, that sort of thing. I like to incorporate organ meats. If you're a carnivore and don't eat organ meats, you could be doing a lot better if you have more organ meats, the kidney, liver, and bone broth, whatever else goes with the organ meats complex. Liver especially, 100 times more nutrients than the muscle meats. But it's unpalatable. There are organ meat type supplements out there. Then you need to be, how are these people absorbing it, that sort of thing. So a few nuances in there which could be a bit of a quagmire, but the essentials. you need to supplement. Today's food supply is stuffed, particularly with the minerals. If the minerals aren't in the soils, which we're becoming depleted, if the minerals aren't in the soils, they don't end up in the food, and therefore they don't end up into us. And that goes with the carnivore people out there. Those cows that were sacrificed for us, each cow has different amounts of micronutrients in them, just like the humans, if we become cannibals at some point. And it's possible, because the more micronutrient a population gets, the greater chance of cannibalism. And there's historic examples of cannibalism, which is part of being a carnivore, I guess, where there was correlations with low mineral content in the soils complex, and no access to animals equals cannibalistic rituals. And that's quite evident throughout our unfortunate history. It's hopefully behind us, but it won't be forever if we continue on this path of micronutrient deficiencies. The signatures are the obesity epidemic and all the ill health epidemic type scenarios and examples that we have out there. Heart disease, it's not going down. Micronutrient deficiencies. If we all lost weight, heart disease would go down. No, not really. I don't believe so. Overt cardiac stress, yes, it does go down, but the actual disease process is still there. It may be invisible behind your chest, the stuff that's in front of our face, the weight gain, therefore they just had a heart attack. But hey, there's people that suffer from heart attacks in a healthy BMI. The people that are in a healthy BMI, which stay their healthy BMI by sheer force and willpower. Micronutrient deficiencies. You can be deficient for quite a while, and the ones that are a bit more leaner, you could surmise that they'll last longer. But a lot of that is just a 1 or 5% type effect. We have examples of endurance athletes just dying all over the place. Not that bad, but it happens, particularly in the older ones. And the older ones are dying not because of the stress, yes, the stress, but cardiac stress, but the older ones are even more deficient in the micronutrients. That's part of aging, being even more deficient in micronutrients. Not getting enough micronutrients because over 40, 60 plus years of eating gluten, even less micronutrient absorption. You're down to 3 or 5% absorption, and that's why we go into a slide after age 50. I hopefully have stopped my slide. I was looking at dying in my early to mid 60s, statistically speaking, and I've effectively just nullified that. I've probably added a few more extra decades to my life. I started with a bad health signature, obesity, which was micronutrient deficiencies, and which was there was a few birth defects. Mothers are unaware until they do become aware now, hopefully. Birth defects can be essentially eliminated if we understand the whole micronutrients complex. And with that comes the cardiac issues in the birth defect cardiac issues. That's the same thing. Mama is unknowingly deficient in micronutrients, not just selenium, vitamin E. If you are deficient in selenium and vitamin E as the primaries for heart attack type issues, mum that just gave birth to a cardiac condition child. They've got a myriad of chronic micronutrient deficiencies, because also while being deficient in the gestation, in the conception and gestation period, the child is still, the fetus is still taking much of mother's micronutrients. So mother goes even more into micronutrient deficiency, building on already the fetus micronutrient deficiency, which increases the likelihood. If you're deficient enough, you get those birth defects. I'm probably the subject of a birth defect. My first days at primary school, elementary school, already manifested in, that kid's blind, and that may have been a birth defect. I may have had a propensity to obesity due to pretty much going on the bottle early on, and unknowingly perhaps mother was deficient, like many mothers, particularly these days. We've heard the stories of Down syndrome in older mothers. It's happening in the younger mothers now. That is the signature of micronutrient deficiencies. With the whole, I mentioned oils and sugars earlier, which the 2.2 regular listeners will know about, which adds to the whole cardiac, heart health complex, cholesterol levels, atherosclerosis buildup, and that's all oils intake, sugars intake, gives us those horrible cholesterol numbers. But cholesterol is very important for mental and hormone health, and that's probably why we have dementia and Alzheimer's on the pickup as well as number 3 in our mortality rates. Cholesterol deficiency, which in effect is saturated fat deficiency, because we need to take in saturated fat to get the cholesterol in, and cholesterol intake in itself doesn't add to our cholesterol woes if it is very linked to heart disease type conditions. So I think I've made my point. It's not genetic, and it is very much so a chronic micronutrient deficiency complex in your family, in yourself, and in society. Is micronutrients an 80%er and perhaps toxins or mold as a 20%er? It'll be very difficult to escape the mold complex depending on where you live. I'm in a fairly hot climate, so I'm less at risk. But in this room, in this house, and every house that's built in Australia, that drywall, that gyprock is very mold friendly. It's hard to escape that. We also can't escape gluten dust walking past a bakery, in a bakery, and in the supermarket. But they're all perhaps 1%ers. The 99%ers you can eliminate from your diet. No more toast and pasta and the whole gluten complex, which includes oats. Don't forget the oats. If you look at a product and it's gluten-free, look for oats in the ingredients, because oats, they're pro-inflammatory protein, is not called gluten, it's gliadin. And that's where some of the nuances are. So together with micronutrient deficiencies, oils, sugars, making sure you absorb the micronutrients by going off your glutens, and The processed meats complex, which I mentioned, is more a carcinogenic avoider. I've got my child crying back there. Mum was there. I was summing up anyway. And don't blame your genes. Blame a little bit your toxins, but blame a lot your micronutrient deficiencies or your micronutrient deficiency profile risks. So we better be supplementing these days. Do the keto health 44. I used to call it the keto 44. It's the health 44. And before the keto 44, I used to call it the 44, the twist of dairy and egg, because that's what my proclivity was. That's the sort of food I liked. And the carnivores go carnivore because they like meat, don't they? And the vegans want to go vegan because ideological wise, and let's face it, they can do without meat. So we have all these nuances, all these preferences, but it comes down to the whole health 44. Digest your micronutrients, absorb them, have dependable daily supply, and your heart health and your health in general will be on the up, and you'll get decades more life. Thanks for your interest, and bye.